France are the reigning world champions. They're not adventurous. Portugal are the reigning European champions.
This is France 2018 all over again.
I would suggest there's a big difference, though, between France 2018 and this England team. And why also this Portugal-France analogy, which I made to be contrarian, I think is stupid. First of all, Portugal were good, but they were also fortunate. And they had Cristiano Ronaldo, who England do not have. Secondly, while we said England have a lot of really good players, they're not playing in this system. So France, playing defensively, still had Griezmann and Mbappe and Pogba. The Griezmann England back then who are on a level beyond anybody who's starting for this England team except for a fully fit Kane, and he's not starting right now. So I think it's dangerous to play this way because France had the individual solutions, which England doesn't have. I don't think it's a great way to play to begin with, and it can come back and bite you, as we've seen.
Yeah, but for now, it's enough to beat Germany, to beat the Czech Republic, to beat Croatia, to beat Ukraine in the next round, because they will beat Ukraine, and like Robo said, to go to the final, because then they're going to beat Denmark or Czech Republic again. For now, it's enough. Then, if you get to the final and face Belgium or Italy or Spain, or less likely Switzerland, but I wish my cousin Swiss the best. Then that might not be enough there, because you're right. It's very minimalist to start with. It's very pragmatic, and you still need something other than just Sterling running quick with the ball, or something other than bringing Grealish on to try to do something a bit special, which he did. To fairness to him, second assist, an assist. As an impact sub for 20 minutes is pretty brilliant, but I just don't think this would be enough to win you the whole thing. But for now it is, so make the most of it, take what you can from it, because I think it's a lot of confidence. I mean, look at Sterling. It's a different player than what even he was a month ago. He had finished the season so badly for City. It's a completely different Raheem Sterling now. That's good. It's good for Saka. It's good for Kane to score. It's good for Calvin Phillips to have this kind of impact, certainly physically, more than with the ball. But physically, I think he recovered 11
he
balls.
played a defensive game. This wasn't the Calvin Phillips we saw against Croatia, I thought.
No, for sure. So take all the positives like that, and then between now and the final, try to work on the things that are not working as well for now.
Robbo, there were several players you could pick out. I think most players said, Sterling is man of the match. He scored again. For me, one of the single players who made the single biggest difference was actually Harry Maguire at the back. I don't think that back three would have worked as effectively without his leadership. You can also make a case for Pickford or whatever. Do you agree with that, or do I just like Harry Maguire too much?
I thought Maguire was excellent. I think he made good decisions about when to run out with the ball, when to cover round. I thought he looked like the leader of that back four, because Stones made, I thought, some poor decisions in terms of his positional play. When Werner gets through in the first half, Stones almost said, "Go on, play the ball in there." His position was all wrong, and I think he made a bad decision when Muller went through as well. He slipped over. He wasn't quite sure whether to go and close the ball down or to drop off. He should have dropped off. Whereas Maguire made all the right decisions. He won a lot of aerial duels. The only way that they could get out at times, Germany, when they went from back to front, was to try and hit Thomas Muller. And every time, Maguire won the ball in the air. So I thought Maguire was excellent. He dominated that back three. He organised that back three. And he's the one player. They talk about Stones being a good footballer on the ball. Harry Maguire is much better with the ball than John Stones is. He comes out at the right time. He knows when to pass it into midfield, when to go that bit longer. He was excellent.
And this is a player coming off an injury as well, which I think is all the more impressive.
Yeah, but maybe rested as well.
Okay, but he's still a guy who's coming. You can't have it both ways.
No,
guy comes back from injury, plays bad. He's not match fit. He's rusty.
Yeah, except that the time that he didn't play compared to others who in that time played 10, 12, 15 games, that will help now after a season of 70 matches.
But whoever was responsible for his rehab and Maguire and the work he did, I think did a great job. Because he hasn't missed a step. I want to turn it over to Germany now.
Just something on Harry Kane quickly.
Oh yeah, we
had a debate in France. We had a debate in France. It's an easy goal to score, right?
Let's ask Robbo. He scored more goals professionally than I have.
Harry Kane's goal, he was in the right place, he made the right run, he set the play up. I think it's a fairly easy finish. Ian Darko, I was commentating with, said it was a great finish. He had to stoop and bend his head slightly. I thought he was in the right place at the right time. Good run, easy finish.
But huge psychologically for him. And I agree with Robo. I think it was an easy finish. For a player like him, come on, this is...
We've seen a bunch of stooping headers actually in this Euros. Come to think of it, by the by, I do one other thing. Should Harry Kane? Obviously, Harry Kane's not going to be dropped, right? But he came in for a lot of criticism for doing very little in the first 3 games. He scored this goal here. I was just looking on Twitter and stuff like that. Around minute 60 of that game, there were a lot of people, the punditocracy, all the ex-pros, the chattering classes, saying, all right, take him off, send on Rashford, send on Calvert-Lewin. This debate's all going to go away now, right, Robbo? Because he scored that goal, and Southgate's not going to mess with a winning formula. We're pretty sure of that. But should he?
Harry Kane, I don't think he's played particularly well, but I don't blame him for all the problems he's had. Again, I go back to the Scotland game and 1 or 2 of the other games. I'm looking at how they can get the ball into Harry Kane, and they're not creating any avenues to pass the ball. The midfield players are in the way. They're not moving players out the way. Harry Kane couldn't run in behind because players on the ball weren't looking to play that pass in behind. He tried to make a couple of runs. The players didn't see it. Then he's trying to come short, but he's going into a crowded midfield. So I think the tactics haven't helped him, but he hasn't looked at his very best. He's looked slightly off the pace. And I think we got into the game, half an hour into the game, and I said to Ian Dark as I was commentating, I don't think we've mentioned Harry Kane's name very often. He touched the ball 3 times in the first half an hour. That was all he touched the ball. That says everything about the way England were playing.
You know where I feel for him, and we discussed it a lot with Gab already. And I know it's about service, and that goal he scored, the service is perfect from Grealish, and I don't think he's had that kind of service before. But look at the chance at the end of the first half. Look at what he had to wait for Sterling to run and think that he can be Leo Messi and score between 4 or 5 Germans. And yet the ball had to sort of bounces off 2-3 players to go into Kane's kind of path, although it's quite wide, and that's why he has to take that first touch with his left, and then the ball goes away a little bit and Rudiger can clear it. But can you imagine if you're Harry Kane, that's all you have. That's all you have in the whole first 45 minutes. It's a ball that sort of bounces off Goossens or Kimmich or Goretzka or wherever, because Sterling thought he could be Leo Messi for the space of 2 seconds.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN+.